Ginny and Georgia. Ginny and Georgia. Netflix's most dramatic show of all time. Not as cap. It's just very dramatic for me. I don't know what it is about this show, but it just does it for me. Like, I'm not a super big like drama TV kind of person. Like, you know, I've watched shows like All American. I've talked about that before, and I got to a certain point where it was like, man, like this just don't even seem like, it's too many moving parts. It doesn't even seem real anymore. Like, so like the immersive of like, you know, the things that were going on in that show versus like what's going on in this show, it feels a lot more believable in Ginny and Georgia. Not to knock the show, because the show is still like good in its own right. I watched like a whole bunch of episodes of it. You know what I'm saying? But it got to a certain point where spinoffs on spinoffs on spinoffs, and like, you know, like it just kept going. Like they was beating the dead horse. They knew they had something good, and they ran it into the ground, in my opinion. But this is not about All American. We're talking about Ginny and Georgia, and here we go. First things first. This trial is nuts. I think it was episode 4 where we have the second day of the initial trial after opening statements, and we get our first witness, and it's the private investigator dude that was just a nuisance. It was a nuisance, and he'd been trying to catch Georgia for the longest time. He was not letting go, and you know, he made his presence known. Like, he made his statement, and when he did, it shook me to my core, because my brain was not even going to that direction. And I'm just like, bro, you know what? He might actually be right. Like, to go from this being a murder trial to now framing Georgia as a I don't even know, morning breakfast item killer. You get what I'm saying? It's just a nuts thing to say, and nobody know that that's a thing. I'm like, yo, like, she did kill 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, those are facts. Now, are they all malicious? No, but like, I've watched enough of Bo's vs. the World to know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, some of this stuff can happen. Like, I like the way they frame it versus like how they gonna have to prove it, you know what I'm saying, is a whole different story. But that shocked me to my core. I was not expecting Cuz to say that, you know what I'm saying. I was expecting him to just be like, yo, she's a murderer, like stuff like that. But I know, I was like, yo, this is actually nuts. And then Ginny, bro, Ginny was going through it, but she was out here trying to live her best life, and you know, in the midst of that, she got entangled with a guy named Wolf, bro. And oh man, that was an episode. I think they handled it well, though, as far as like how to not only like express how can I put it, empathy, and express, like, show care about the situation and the sensitivity of it. That's the better word. I think they displayed it in the best way, know-how, because like in every episode, it's like they always have a segment of it where they talk about like all the different helplines people can go to for things like depression and stuff like that, or self-harm. So like, I think as far as that goes, like, you know what I'm saying, it's just a crazy thing to witness, because like, after all that Ginny has witnessed, after all that Ginny has been through, after all that Georgia has put their family through, and for her to just like want to have fun and be outside, and now she got to reap the consequences of it, it's like, dang, bro. Like, y'all just taking it there. Like, y'all are just taking it there, bro. Like, I still can't believe she got pregnant off the one go. Like that, I know it's possible, but it's just like, dang, bro. That's a crazy way to fold, bro. That's a crazy way to fold. But regardless of whatever Ginny and Georgia are getting themselves into. You know, with Georgia being on house arrest and everybody going crazy over the trial, I can't help but in my mind just be thinking the whole time, like, you know, what about Austin? Where is Austin? Is anybody checking up on Austin? You know what I'm saying? Like Jenny out here going on joyrides, skipping school, but forcing Austin to go to school and be strong. And I'm just like, bro, if you don't let him stay at the crib, play Mario Kart, like, what are we doing? Like, there's no way that you got my man's in school while his mom is on trial for murder. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, bruh? And, you know, as much as like I was a fan of Zion, like early on, I just think that man don't know nothing. Like he's good at being the, you know, like, I guess, I don't know what you would call it. When things are good, like he's good when things are good, but like when things are like in trouble and he just like always defaults back into like baby mode, where he calls Ginny a gummy bear and it's like, oh sweetie, and like, you know what I'm saying, does that whole thing. It gets repetitive to the point where it's like, man, you ain't learned nothing. like you ain't learned nothing. Now I get it. Like, going to the trial and hearing all those things would probably have you, you know, worried. But to team up with Gil so that, you know, Zion could have Ginny and Gil could have Austin, it's just diabolical, bro. I'm just like, there's no way he just went out like this. Like, and that's what I mean when there's a drama, when it's like so unbelievable, like anything and everything is going wrong. And I'm just like, bruh, like that's just like how last season ended when she first got arrested and Austin was like, what? I didn't tell anybody though. And I'm just like, bruh, we know. And it still went bad, bro. It still went bad. And it's mega dramatic, bro. It's mega dramatic, and I love every bit of it. But let me know what y'all think about Ginny and Georgia. I'm not really hearing too much on socials about it, but I'm just curious because that's like my guilty pleasure show. Outside of all the anime and, you know, superheroes and all this other stuff, gotta find a way to fit some Ginny and Georgia in there as well.